All right, let's talk about Finnish. I know. It has this reputation for being, well, a little bit tricky. But what if I told you that its conversational heart is built on a logic that's actually surprisingly simple? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify it, together.
So let's just dive right in, with a question that gets to the very core of what makes Finnish so unique. How in the world do you talk about what you're doing tomorrow, or even just order a coffee you're going to drink in 5 minutes, if your language doesn't even have a future tense?
To figure this out, let's imagine we're in a cozy little cafe somewhere in Helsinki. You're ready to order, and that one simple thing you're about to do, getting a coffee, is going to unlock this entire concept for us.
Okay, so here's the big secret. It's actually incredibly simple. In Finnish, when you want to talk about something you will do, you just use the present tense. That's it. No I am going to, no I will. The situation, the context of the conversation, it does all the work. It's just a super elegant and efficient way to handle things.
Think about it this way. In English, we have to use all these extra words like are you going to just to talk about the future. But in Finnish, it's a straight line. The server asks, what do you drink? And you say, I take coffee. It's understood you mean right now or in a minute. It's just so direct, no fuss.
Okay, so you've ordered your future coffee using the present tense. Awesome. But now we need to talk about it, the coffee itself. And this is where we get to our second really cool concept, how Finnish handles the object of a sentence.
So, the word for it in Finnish is se. Easy enough, right? But here's the fun part. That little word actually changes its shape depending on what you're doing to it in the sentence. You can think of it like a tiny chameleon, perfectly adapting to what's happening around it.
So let's watch this chameleon change. When you're doing something to it, like drinking your coffee, sen transforms into sen. So, I can drink it becomes voin juoda sen. But here's where it gets really clever. If you make that sentence negative, the object changes again, from sen to sita. So, I cannot pay for it as en voi makse sita.
And now, we can put it all together into one perfect sentence that shows this logic in action. Voin juoda sen, mutta en voi maksaa sitä. I can drink it, but I cannot pay for it. See that? The word for it literally changes mid-sentence, just because one part is positive and the other is negative. How cool is that?
So, you can drink the coffee, but you can't pay for it. Uh-oh, that's a problem. But, every problem has a solution. In our little cafe story, the solution is to figure out our money situation, which leads us beautifully into our next topic, counting.
But first, let's just set the scene for our predicament with this very useful phrase, tänään minulla ei ole rahaa. It means, today, I have no money. A bit of a downer, I know, but it gives us the perfect reason to learn how Finnish numbers work.
Now, you might think the numbers are going to be super complicated, but they're not. In fact, the whole system has this really elegant additive logic. Once you learn the numbers from 1 to 10, you basically just build. For instance, the word for 20 isn't some new random word. It's literally 210. Kaksi plus kymmentä just gets squished together to become kaksikymmentä.
And that amazing pattern just keeps going. The number 25, that's literally 210, 5. Or kaksikymmentäviisi. 38 is 310, 8. Kolmekymmentä kahdeksan. It's so beautifully consistent. Once you have those first 10 numbers down, you can construct pretty much any other number just by stacking the pieces together like building blocks.
Okay, we've figured out our money. Let's get back to our day in Finland. It's time to start making some actual plans and talking about what we're going to do. And this is where we get to bring that very first lesson, the no future tense rule, right back into our story.
And yep, here it is again. That brilliant no future tense rule pops right back up. It doesn't matter if you're making definite plans or you're totally uncertain, the present tense does all the heavy lifting. What are you going to do? It's just a simple mitä teette. And we don't know what we are going to buy. It's just emme tiedä mitä ostamme. So simple, so efficient.
Of course, every good story needs a past too. So let's wrap up our little cafe visit and imagine telling someone about it the next day. You could say something like, seuraavana päivänä saavuin Helsinkiin, which means the following day I arrived in Helsinki. And just like that, you're narrating past events, bringing our whole language adventure full circle.
All right, we've talked about the future, about objects, about numbers, and telling stories. It's time for one last little challenge to put everything we've learned together. How would you say this simple phrase in Finnish? We have pesos, we want to buy something. Go on, take a second, think it through.
And the answer is,
Meillä on pesoja, haluamme ostaa jotain. Did you get it? See? This one little phrase pulls together everything. How to say you have something, how to talk about what you want to do. It just goes to show you that while Finnish might look intimidating from the outside, it's really built on this incredible foundation of clear, consistent logic. The only real question left is, what are you going to learn to say next?